Hello, today we're going to be talking with Ben Bickley. I've started a teeny tiny bit early just to make sure there's plenty of time for Ben to join us. But Ben is a fantastic singer-songwriter. I've played with him before, brilliant stuff. And he does teaching as well, so I thought he seemed like the perfect person to speak to this week. And yeah, looking forward to having a little chat with him. So I'm just going to keep rambling for a little bit while we wait for it all to get sorted. It's always trying to sort out the technical stuff with this. Got to just fill the time. I'm in a new location today. I'm at a friend's house. You can't see it, but there are some very interesting animal pictures behind me. We've got Ben. Lovely. Let's see if I can make this work. Hopefully that has worked. And hopefully we'll have Ben in a moment. Yay!
Hi,
Hi Ben, how are you?
I'm all right. Long time no see. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. What's the last time when we did the gig in Durham?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh
That
my
was a
god.
minute ago, pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, how have you been recently? Maybe we won't talk about the last 2 years,
Yeah,
but
I know. It's like it has been a long time, but I don't know. Time's stood still for ages, hasn't it? So, yeah, good. Nice. It's nice to be back at it.
oh, brilliant. Same
Mm.
here, honestly. Like, what a relief to just be kind of getting to do the things we love again. Oh, so Ben, I'm going to start off putting you on the spot. Tell us a bit about yourself with two truths and a lie, if you would, please.
Yeah, okay. I'm really bad at these, so I don't know. I'm gonna like not look into the camera when I do it. Okay. So three facts, I guess. Um,
Yes, facts.
Facts, all of them facts. I own shares in Apple. So I
Okay.
wanted to invest and I put some into Apple. I'm a big Apple fan, so love all the
Same.
technology about it. Another one, I started getting regular paid gigs when I was 15 years old with a band.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like to use all these facts where they've got numbers in, so like they can be vague, you know. No one can
Yeah.
disprove any of the numbers. And then another one, I'm a vegan and I have been for 3 years, mostly.
Hmm. Ooh, that's difficult. See, if I may, prod a little at one of them.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
you
Oh
say
no,
shares in
I'm gonna break.
are we talking a fraction of a share in Apple, or are we talking?
Yeah, not full shares.
Okay. Ooh. You know what? I feel like it's going to be the gig one, and I feel like it'll just be like you either did it at 14 or 16 or something, just not 15. I don't
No, it
know.
was the shares. It was the shares. I don't know anything about shares. If someone told me to buy shares, I'd be like, I don't know what that is. I don't understand that at all. Yeah, it was the
Buy,
shares thing.
sell.
You nearly had me. I heard you can buy half shares, but I don't know. I don't really know.
I do like a teeny tiny bit of investing, but only like what
Oh,
I've been
okay,
told to. So
cool,
like I don't know what's going on. Don't
nice.
don't ask me for advice. Oh
I mean,
gosh.
it sounds like you're a real adult if you do some investing. That sounds like a proper adult thing to do. Like, I don't do that.
Oh, Laura Beck is saying that you have shares in iPads. Well, there we go.
You know, that's kind of why I threw it out there because like people who know me really well, they're always like, "Oh, you love iPads, you do. You know all about them." So I was like, "Let's choose something that might throw people."
Wait, so to what extent are iPads a part of your day-to-day life for people to say that?
You know, I work with Laura, and so like I don't know, we were putting a show on and we were just talking about iPads and stuff. You know, I have an iPad with me all the time. I do.
Fair, fair.
I love them. You know, it's how I teach from my iPad.
Oh, same. Yeah, absolutely. Got my little lesson plan up. I'm just having a look through.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Oh yeah, makes you feel very professional. Mm. So Ben, my next question for you.
Mhm.
What do you feel like music has done for you? Like what kind of impact? I know it's a very kind of big, vague question, so feel free to answer that however you want, positives or negatives.
um, you know, I think I kind of see it in two parts, really. Music's always been like a really social thing growing up for me.
Yeah.
And I think, it was a really good way to sort of have an identity, especially like, when you're a teenager, you don't really know what's going on most of the time. And music was a thing that was like, it helped me make friends, and it helped me sort of like get out there and, let people understand what I'm about, I guess. I grew up in a church family, so we would have like music really regularly every single week anyway, because we'd be going to church and we'd be around it. And I think, that social connection from that is kind of where it sprung for me, definitely. And then when I was old enough to like be in a band and stuff, it's kind of like having another family, isn't it? It's not just like a group of mates when you're in a band together. Yeah, I don't know. So definitely a really social thing. And
Mm.
then I think like if you're a creative person, any sort of outlet that you've got to sort of make things and produce something is always really like good and fulfilling in a way that you don't really get as a consumer of the products, I guess.
Yeah.
So it can be anything. I guess you're probably the same. Most people who are creative sort of dabble in loads of different things as well as music. So photography and like other medias and stuff. I love to cook, so
Oh
I
yeah.
find that really fulfilling. But yeah, I think just creating something is really important, and it helps you understand yourself really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you're saying, about the like sense of community idea
Mm.
and it being a way to yeah, connect with other people. I whenever I'm trying to explain, if someone asks me why I got into songwriting or whatever, one of the things that I tend to say is like, it feels really good to play a part in a story and like play out things that would maybe be socially unacceptable in
Yeah,
day-to-day life.
yeah, definitely.
So I'm
Yeah,
like, I can pretend to be rather unhinged and it helps me be more balanced in my day
yeah,
to day. They
nice.
pretend, but I get it out my system. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also, and like to sort of put yourself in other people's like well, not fantasies, but like sometimes you'll be writing a song and you'll do it from someone else's perspective.
Yeah,
It's like quite a fun exercise that I like to do.
that's
And yeah, it makes you have empathy for that person, definitely, and sort of like try and understand where they're coming from in whatever side of the story it is you're trying to tell.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's such a great point. I suppose that comes back to like the connection aspect of it again, doesn't it? Like learning to
yeah,
see from other perspectives by practicing it, I guess.
yeah.
I love that. Okay, my next question for you, Ben. So you've been teaching a while, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Basically, straight out of university, more or less, I've kind of like set up teaching. What year did I graduate? 2016.
Oh,
So
brilliant. Yeah,
yeah,
so a fair
a minute.
while. Are there any kind of standout moments, I guess, in terms of, the biggest change you might have seen in someone that you've taught, how music has impacted them?
Mm. It's a hard question because I see it. You kind of see it all the time.
Yeah.
I think not necessarily from like a specific point, but from most people that you teach. I think once they start to understand the like physiology and the science behind essentially phonation, so how you create tone and what
Mm.
the actual science is, I think that's a really key moment for people where they're like, oh yeah, this is kind of something that I can grasp and something that I can get my head around, and it doesn't have to be something that's kind of this unattainable thing that I think a lot of people see singing as. It's
Yeah.
basically just science. I know it's kind of a boring way to look at it, but I think if you get that, and if you really nail the technique and the science, then it opens you up and allows you to be more emotive with it, which is great for people because that's why they want to do it. They want to have, this sort of like experience where you open up and you just let your voice come out. And I think
Yeah.
that's, that's the dream, but it doesn't always like, it doesn't come out like that all the time. And I think, unlocking that is a good way of putting it. Unlocking it with the science and the technique is a good thing to work towards with people. And yeah, I don't know, I love it. I love that moment when you're teaching someone and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I understand.
Yes.
What is sound and why do our bodies make sound in the first place, once you start to understand about the vocal cords. And yeah, I don't know, I love that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's interesting hearing that perspective because I often don't get into the science with students, but I can see how that would be really valuable. And maybe that's something I need to be considering then. Because, yeah, I laugh with one of my students sometimes 'cause I'm like, we're going to do this. I know it works, but I can't remember why. Trust
Yeah.
me.
You know,
And it does
that
work.
works for a lot of people. Yeah.
But no,
I
I
think
think you're right there.
I think a lot of teaching and a lot of learning when we're doing things like this is trial and error. So you're absolutely right. Just like, oh, let's try this and see if it works. And then if it doesn't, well, like we've not hurt anyone, nothing bad's happened, it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it definitely depends what level you're teaching as well. If you're already working with singers who sort of have been singing for a while, then
Yeah.
maybe that side of the lessons are not that important to them. But you know, I work with a lot of kids. I work with, you know, groups of people as well. I work in a couple of theatres and making sure that, like, you know, when they're going through the early stages of learning, I think building that base foundation of technique is really important.
Absolutely. I mean, it just, if nothing else, it keeps people safe, but it can have such immediate impact on the way sound is produced as well, can't it? Like
Yeah,
practice is one thing, but if someone can guide you in the moment to do it right, yes, you'll need to practice to be able to do it later, but you can have that immediate change where it's like, oh my God.
yeah, absolutely. Mm. I didn't
Lovely.
ever have singing lessons growing up until I was sort of 17,
Same,
like the
yeah.
year before I came to uni. And I always remember growing up being like, I like singing, but I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Yes.
So, you know, for me, that's always the big thing. I was like, I want to know what the technique is and I want to be able to be consistent with it. So I think
Yeah.
that's definitely part of it.
I started a little younger than you, but um, the information I received perhaps wasn't the best. I will absolutely not name names or anything because lovely person, but
Shame them, shame them.
but yes, it didn't. It helps just in terms of kind of facing the fear of singing in front of someone. But yes, as time went on, I did find out that perhaps the information was incorrect.
Yeah.
And I kept losing my voice, and it was like, why do I keep losing my voice? But anyway, um, my final question for you, Ben,
Mm.
is: do you have any, interesting or funny anecdotes from any gigs or teaching, anything like that?
Funny things. Um, I guess something that I find funny that other people might not find really funny. Um, just because just because of our location, we end up teaching a lot of like Yorkshire kids and stuff.
Yeah,
And anytime you do a group class and you're working on your vowel placements and things like that, it's very
yeah.
funny with a room full of Yorkshire kids. And you know, they're all singing the word stars and they're pronouncing it stars, and you're like, no, that's not how we
Oh,
say stars. So that's something that always amuses me a lot anyway. And then a lot of people find it very funny that one of the people that I work for a theatre in Wakefield, they were putting on a production of Shrek at the Alhambra
oh, amazing.
over in Bradford. And one of my friends was in it, and her husband was meant to be playing Shrek, and he
Yeah.
got cast in We Will Rock You, like the UK tour of that. So it was a pretty big deal. So he had to drop out, and I
Oh,
said I'd fill in. So yeah, I ended up playing Shrek in a production of Shrek the Musical at the Alhambra, and I don't know, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, that suits you actually," and
oh.
I don't know what to make of that. I'll take it, but it was quite fun. I had to wear a fat suit to
Fair. Was
pack on
that
a few extra
comfortable?
pounds. Yeah, super comfortable, and it kind of acted as a good counterbalance. You know,
Yeah.
like when I was you have to do like a little bit of dancing. I'm a terrible dancer, but you know, wearing the fat suit as a counterbalance, I think made me a better dancer. So that's my funny fact for the day, definitely.
Lovely. Thank you for that. I'm going to say that Shrek is a very lovable character. So let's
Yeah,
assume that's why people are
yeah,
saying that it suits you. He is very
I'll take
lovable.
that. Yeah, not because he's big and green and smelly.
Yeah, I've never thought any of those things about you.
Thanks, Fran. Thanks. I needed
So
that.
you've got me on your side at least.
Yeah. Oh no,
Oh,
it was really fun. It's good. And I think that's, you know, working in theatres now is a real joy for me because of all of those things. Like you're working with a community of people, and you know, that to me is what's special about music. So any chance you get to work in sort of music theatre and do anything like that, it's super fun. It's nice.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I can imagine, honestly. It's not I don't tend to do any musical theatre stuff, but I can definitely see why it is just so much fun.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Ben, thank you so much. It was lovely to chat to you.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
yeah, just lovely to hear your takes on things as well. So hopefully it will not be too long before we actually see each other in
Mm.
person again.
We'll have to get to a gig together again. That'll be fun. That'll be
Yes,
nice.
yeah, that would be brilliant. I need to be on the hunt for gigs. I keep being cheeky and just kind of putting it off, being like, something will come
I know.
up.
Me too. Me too. I'm so lazy at looking for gigs. I'm like, maybe one day I'll do one again, but you know, the effort.
Well, maybe we need to promise each other then. We're like, right, we
Yes, we should put a gig on. That
book
would be
for a
good,
gig.
actually.
Yes,
All right.
that'd be
Okay, we'll
brilliant.
sort it.
Okay, take care, Ben. Thanks again
Cool.
so
Thank you
much.
very much. Thanks for having me.
Bye.